Namaskaram and a very warm and blessed morning to all of you. I, Vidu Saxena, on behalf of KIET School of Pharmacy, Ghaziabad, welcome you all, the respected dignitaries and the participants on day 2 of AICTE sponsored Atal FDP on a very relevant topic, adoption of virtual reality technologies for drug discovery, the centerpiece of academic and industry labs. Yesterday, we witnessed two wonderful technical sessions from our keynote speakers. The first among them was Dr. Parthasarathi Ramakrishnan from CSIR Indian Institute of Toxicology Research, Lucknow, India. And the second keynote speaker was Dr. Shandar Ahmed, School of Computational and Integrative Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, India. As we move forward for the technical sessions underlined under day 2, the first technical session will be delivered by our eminent keynote speaker who has just joined us. So we welcome Dr. Sushil Chandra, Scientist G and the Departmental Head of Biomedical Engineering, Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences, INMAS, Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, New Delhi. Sir, on behalf of KIET School of Pharmacy, we welcome you on this virtual platform and look forward to an insightful session ahead. The chairperson for the technical session 1 is Dr. K. Nagarajan, convener Atal FDP and principal KIET School of Pharmacy. Before I request Dr. K. Nagarajan to share the profile of our eminent keynote speaker, let me give you all a glimpse of Sir's professional journey. Dr. K. Nagarajan has done his PhD from Jadavpur University, Lucknow, Kolkata in 2010. He has various awards and accolades. Major among them is Outstanding Faculty for Superior Performance in Academics and Research in year 2014 and 16. Sir is the C.V. Raman Awardee for the Best Researcher at Institution level for 3 consecutive years, which is 2018, 2019 and 2020. The total Google Scholar citations are 384 with H-index 11, Scopus citations as 106, H-index 6, and the Web of the Science citations as 32, H-index 2. Sir also has a vast industry experience of Torrent Research Center as Scientist 2 and also is the Scientific Research Advisor for Dr. Thang's Herbal Research Center. Sir has also received various grants. Sir has also received various grants from different funding agencies. Sir has guided around 60 UG and PG students for their project. Details are many to share, but on this regard only, I would now request Dr. K. Nagarajan, convener Atal FDP and Principal KIET School of Pharmacy, to welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Sushil Chandra from INMAS DRDO, New Delhi, with a welcome bouquet. Sir, please.
Thank you.
I would request Praveen sir to please share the welcome bouquet slide. Thank you so much. Now, as we move forward, I would request Dr. K. Nagarajan to share the profile of our keynote speaker and welcome sir on board for today's first technical session. Sir, please.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, first of all, I would like to welcome Dr. Sushil Chandra, reputed scientist from INMAS Defense Research and Development Organization, New Delhi. Welcome to the board, sir. Sir has basically having 32 plus years of experience as a scientist in DRDO, working on cognitive neuroscience, psychophysiological tools and methods, technological and traditional intervention. He has a vast experience on technological interventions such as video gaming and virtual reality to augment cognition. He is more enthusiastic about implementations of artificial intelligence in various fields of cognition. He is having an experience in 360-degree vision, virtual, augmented, mixed reality applications in defense. He has an experience in defense electronics, telemedicine, image processing, as well as compression. He has worked on the challenges of neurodevelopmental disorders such as autism and ADHD. He has supervised more than 140 engineering graduates, 45 postgraduates, and currently one PhD thesis, and already two are under supervision. And starting from the beginning, he worked as a scientist. In his initial career, he worked as scientist B in Defense Electronics Applications Laboratory, DRDO, in the year 1986 to 1991. Especially his contribution is towards telemedicine. Later, he was promoted as scientist C in the same organization of DRDO in Dehradun, where he worked upon software-based radios, anti-jam data links, secure SATCOM systems, and millimeter wave communication systems, software radios, satellite communication, microwave and millimeter systems, image processing and analysis from 1991 to 1993. Later, he was promoted to Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences, New Delhi, where he was serving from 1993 to 1997, and he has conceptualized and produced a motorized wheelchair based on the mobility aid. And he has also designed and developed a radio frequency coil of a knee joint for NMR spectroscopy. He has developed rehabilitation devices for patients of spinal cord injury technology, especially by using the systems like embedded system, RF systems, and mechanical engineering. Later, he was promoted as Scientist D in Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences, New Delhi, where he worked on the development of cholesterol biosensor from 1997 to 2004. Then in 2004, he was promoted as Scientist CE in the Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences, New Delhi, where he done the study of neurocognitive disorders in defense forces by non-invasive imaging and 2 to 4 immersion technology, especially from 2004 to 2011. And in 2011, he was again promoted as Scientist F in the same Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences, where his experts on research, technology, and policy related to cognitive science, medical research, and human performance applications. He has lot of defense interaction with DGMT, DG Army Aviation, and DG RTRAC. And his tenure is particularly as Scientist F from 2011 to 2018. And 2018 onwards, he was promoted as Scientist G in Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences, New Delhi, where he made a significant contribution in envisaging the national vision on global corridor for cognitive science and converging technology, especially in the field of nanotechnology, information technology, cognitive science, and biotechnology. He has graduated Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics from Madan Mohan Malviya Engineering College in Gorakhpur in the year 1983. He did his MSc of Engineering in Electrical branch in Aligarh Muslim University in 1988. He also did Diploma in Management from School of Engineering and Technology in IGNOU in 1992. And he completed his PhD in Neurocognition. Ultimately, the topic what he is going to deliver, that's almost in the same area. He did the PhD with Netaji Subhas Institute of Technology in New Delhi 2017. Sar has numerous publications belonging to various Thomson Reuters and Scopus Impact Factor journals in very highly reputed journals. And he has a vast membership of professional societies, which includes the Society of Nuclear Medicine, Fellow and Life Member of Institute of Smart System and Structures, Fellow and Life Member of Institute of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, and a Chartered Engineer, Electronics and Telecommunication. He is being a visiting faculty for many institutes such as Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology and different Amity School of Engineering, Netaji Subhash Institute of Technology, UPTU Lucknow, Maharishi Dayanand University Rohtak, Rajasthan Technical University Jaipur, Public Health Foundation of India, and so on. SAR has various project collaboration with other institutes. To name them, some of them are IIT Mandi, Himachal Pradesh, IIT Kharagpur, West Bengal, Delhi University, Manipal, Karnataka, Netaji Subhash Institute of Technology, and Institute of Physically Handicapped, New Delhi, which indicates that SAR has significant service to the society also. And SAR has completed 11 national edge cutting technology projects in different sectors, especially more towards the society. And his various interest areas are neurocognition, artificial intelligence, virtual reality applications, augmented reality and applications, 360-degree vision, emotional health, latest trends in biomedical imaging, disaster management, robotic and biomedical engineering, and e-health. And SAR has been visiting and given many lectures in different countries as well as in throughout the nation, and he did lot of consultancy for other institutes. To name them, Motilal Nehru Institute, National Institute of Technology, Allahabad, Northeast Council, Thapar University, Patiala, Lovely Professional University, Punjab, Alwar Institute of Engineering and Technology, and Rajasthan. So I would like to welcome you, sir, as the profile is a very vast. I just cut short it. So thank you, sir. We are having you in board in KIET School of Pharmacy, and all the participants are really excited to listen your lecture. Thank you very much, sir. We are welcoming you once again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the profile. We are facing a little technical glitch, and sir will be joining us again in a few span of minutes. So I would request everyone to please wait, and we will start the session in a while. Thank you.
So sir is joining back, sir, due to some network error. Na, he got left and he is joining again. Sir is here, sir.
Yeah, welcome you, sir.
Good morning,
Please.
sir.
Very, very good morning to all of you. I'm really sorry because the problem came from my end. Now,
No, sir, it's okay, sir. This internet issues, they may arise anytime.
yeah.
So we are happy to have you on the stage. And sir, our principal, sir, Dr. K. Nagarajan is welcoming you. Sir, please, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Sushil Chandra is having 32 plus years of experience as scientist in DRDO, working on cognitive neuroscience, psychophysiological tools and methods, technological and traditional intervention. He has supervised more than 140 engineering candidates, postgraduate students 45 and one PhD thesis, and currently supervising 2 PhD. He has a vast experience in defense electronics, telemedicine, image compression and processing. He worked on the challenges of neurodevelopmental disorders such as autism and ADHD. He is an enthusiast about implementation of artificial intelligence in various fields of cognition. He is having a vast experience in 360-degree vision, virtual, augmented, and mixed reality applications in defense. So we welcome you on board, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for your presence in KIET School of Pharmacy. Yeah, please, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice introduction. And firstly, again, sorry because of the delay. And why I'm saying it again, because I know very well, I challenged Dr. Vaishali because I'll have to leave at 10:50. So the time is drastically reduced because I've got an urgent meeting with my DG. So with that context, now I'll start straight my presentation. I just load, I'll share my screen. Please tell me whether if you're able to see after that. Yes.
You can share the screen now, sir.
Yeah.
We could see your laptop screen, sir.
Are you able to see my presentation?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay. So now coming straight to my topic, which is I will try to cover it up in the field of virtual reality and augmented reality for healthcare. And I'm sure most of you are already aware about, because I will not be able to justify related to drug development. No doubt in the end, I have tried to touch on that portion, but I'll be sharing what is virtual reality, how it is applied in health, and how my group has especially applied it related to cognitive. So now I'm sure all of you are already well aware that WHO has defined it as not only the physical health, it is including mental as well as now even spiritual health, also the part of the health. So that's how related to health, how the technology plays the major role. Because as I was introduced, I have been working in the biomedical engineering discipline since my education time itself, because my MTech itself is in biomedical engineering. So since then, I've been working in this particular area. So how to use the technology related aspects in the field of healthcare has been my area. No doubt, as introduced, since last around more than 15 years, I've been working in the field of cognitive science, and around that time only I started working, I and my group also, and not only my group, then after that, as he shared, multiple students group have been working from multiple institute with me, and I've tried my level best that how this VR and AR applications in multiple domain can take place, because I'm sure most of you might be aware about the field known as virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. Uh, it started way back, long back, but because of the technological development, it came into the light very late, because it was earlier very costly, quite difficult, and it was kind of a known in the field of fixed simulators. So people were knowing it as a simulation side. But later, because of the cost effectiveness, because of the ease of use, lots of technology became so user friendly that mainly it has taken shape later. And that means, let me explain what is virtual reality in my own definition. If we are able to dose our five senses in such a way that whatever is shown or whatever is experienced virtually, we forget the difference between virtual and the real. So that's what is called as a virtual reality. As I said, if we are able to dose our five senses, so here I am talking only about three senses, as you are seeing, that the first and foremost is the vision one, which is again given in multiple ways. We can give it through desktop virtual reality, we can give it through HMD, that means head mounted display, and then we can have the virtual reality, or as you are seeing, it is written CAPE, computer aided virtual environment. So that means the whole room is converted into virtual reality. So that also is the state. So related to vision only this much. Then in that case, we cover all for rest of the visions also, but my group and me have been able to work only two more visions, two more senses. That is, one is hearing and one is touch and interaction. So we were planning to involve minimum the fourth dimension, which is known as smell, but we did not. We could not rather. And then in that case, if we are able to take care of to all five senses, then that becomes the best immersion part. Because in case of virtual reality, the major part is evaluated based on immersion and interaction. That means how much we are able to seamlessly interact with the environment, as well as I will request all other mics to get muted. Then it will be better.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I have done that. Sir,
Sushil,
sir, please unmute yourself. Excuse me, sir.
not hear you, sir.
Yes. Now, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
are you able to see my PPT also now?
Yes, sir.
So actually, it was done from your side. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Sir.
Okay, so as I was sharing that there are different aspects of virtual reality and augmented reality and mixed reality. So I will share only in one or two lines, like in case if we are able to see the real and the virtual both, that means it is augmented reality. But in case if we are able to interact also in both, then in that case it becomes a mixed reality. So that's all. But mainly we have been working on virtual reality, a little part in related to augmented reality. And now we have started working in the field of mixed reality also. Now, as far as we talk about, that way we define it XR, whether VR or AR or MR, it is utilized. Here I have given only the few applications, whether it is related to healthcare or education or military or entertainment. But if I don't exaggerate, this is the field. There are few tools, whether we talk about artificial intelligence, whether we talk about VR, AR, MR, these are the fields which are applied in any field and every field. So that's how these technologies are working. So it is applied in almost all the fields. Like for example, here if you are seeing that VR now it has been started to train even including old age people and even the psychiatry patient. But as if you are seeing the right hand top, to the best of my knowledge, we are got initiated firstly into the field of health applications. If I remember correctly, VR was firstly initiated for MIS, that is minimal invasive surgery. For that kind of an application, it started there. But as I was sharing, because at that time, developing those virtual environment for different domain, it was too difficult, one. Two, as well as these technologies were too costly, because I have got my HMD system. At that time, the world leader was Envisor, Germany, and Sensex, US. And that time it was costing around 20 lakhs. And I have got that one. But now it is available, if I talk about cardboard system, even in 5,000 of rupees. So that's how the cost has been reduced, user friendliness has been reduced. Now, related to AR applications, again, it is helping for the patients, helping for the medical education, helping for multiple kinds of operation trainings, helping in real life operations also. So you can imagine the kinds of applications related to these fields are there. Only thing is why it is not even that much, even in case of our country, or even if we talk about developed country, because it requires 3 domain knowledge. One, in case if you are working on a healthcare, you have to have a healthcare knowledge, or if you are working on drug development, so you have to have a drug development knowledge. That's one part. Second part, in case of VR AR also, you have to have both the knowledge related to hardware and software, because then only then, as I initially explained about the domain, that it is interactive and immersive. So whole lots of hardware which is being introduced every day, and related to interaction, related to even audio video part. So these changes takes place. Number 2, software. Software, again, it is in 2 parts. One is you have to be well conversant with the gaming engine. Like, for example, my team has been working on mainly one engine, that is Unity 3D. But you can work even in Unreal Engine, and both are gaming engine which are most popular one. There are others also, but these are the 2 gaming engines which are working on. And last but not the least, then after that, utilizing these gaming engines, one environment which has to be utilized for that particular application. For example, I am showing you healthcare, but it could be same way related to drug related development. So that means the person or the group has to have multiple domain knowledge. That's what has been the challenge till now. Rest all challenges related to cost, related to ease of use has been already over. So now I really appreciate that this workshop has been initiated. That means the people in India also are interested to work on drug development using VR AR part. So as I was sharing just now that multiple kinds of hardware. So here if you are seeing, if I am trying to move my hands, the kinds of level of sensors could be integrated in that, so that even if a little finger movement is there, we are able to get the real interaction in case of environment, or the feel within the body also, as you are seeing the chair, which can kind of replicate even if you are flying an aircraft. So that means particular angle you are diverted or something like that. So complete interaction with all kinds of hardwares, all kinds of sensors. So multiple gadgets are used for creating that VR complete setup. Now coming like why VR is required, in fact, why don't we were working with the technologies which were earlier possible? It is the same kind of a question, why a computer is required once we were earlier without computer functioning properly. So it is somewhat similar kind of an answer. Now even our work in which we used to do the cognitive testing based on earlier or even now, lots of people in India who are from psychology experts is still using paper pencil test. Some have started using computerized test, but we have developed even virtual reality and AR based, VR AR based test also. So in that case, once a person is all the time in 3D environment, then ecological validity comes once we are using these kinds of tests, not the age-old system based on which we used to try evaluate how much is my memory intact, how much is my planning intact. So for all these things, the systems to be utilized should be changed. So now coming to the healthcare part, how VR AR has impacted. I will go little in detail. It can be used whether training for prevention as well as for wellness aspect. It could be utilized for all kinds of objective assessment. It can be utilized in real functional training aspects also. And even if in the real scenario, if we want to evaluate any kinds of interventions, how they are playing the role, and how in case of, as you are seeing, that distributed care delivery. So that means at multiple places, we can try to, in case of a single environment itself, we can work on the multi-user. And multi-user also from different kinds of places also. So that means in case if we are training on any kinds of operations in case of healthcare, at multiple places, people can not only interact visually or auditory, rather they can clearly tell about their operational aspects also. Now, as far as these figures are concerned, I will not share only up to that level. What has been projected if we talk about VR, AR as a whole, up to 2025, the projected market is approximately $200 billion. In case of medical itself, only you are seeing that VR, AR is going to play the $5.1 billion. But if we talk about total VR market is going to be what has been projected or forecasted by top players in this market is approximately $200 billion. And you can imagine, you name the top big shot company, they are all involved in this. Whether we talk about Microsoft, Facebook, all these big shots, they are already part of this VR, AR involvement. And why that is there, as if you are seeing what are the better advantages. Nothing can replace the real training, but lots of training cannot be given in case of real, number one. Number two, even if it can be given real, then it could be only for a minimum number of people. It cannot be given to all. Three, it could be still costlier. So all these parts, whether we talk about cost, attaining, interactive ability. So VR, AR has been kind of, if not the replacement, kind of a bigger, very big substitute for these kinds of training. So if we talk about only few applications which I'm talking, but there are multiple more applications even that. So if we are talking about visualization, I'm sure all of you know about endoscopy, colonoscopy, these parts. So how VR can change your perception. I'll make one statement in case if you can travel with me by making that statement. You can travel in your own brain. May look like the exaggerated one, but that's a truth. In case if through MRI, fMRI, if you are able to get your multiples of slices of your brain, and then after that using virtual reality, in fact, it's a truth, you can travel in your own brain. And if a neurosurgeon is able to travel in that style, how the perception of him or her will be entirely different. So till we are traveling in that state, we are trying to do work on those areas also in India at many places. No doubt my group has been working mainly related to cognitive health. Then whether we talk about tissue modeling, whether we talk about molecular modeling in case of 3D visualization, and not only visualization, as I've been talking multiple times, interactivity. So you can play with those molecules and then see the differences. So that's how it is. Now, as I was saying again and again, visualization. So visualization itself, as if you are seeing in this particular slide, where you are getting 3D stereo vision. But in case if you are able to see
Sushil sir, we cannot hear you.
सर आपकी आवाज़ नहीं आ रही है। एक्सक्यूज मी सर।
Sir, are we audible to you?
मैम वह कुछ इंटरनेट एरर की वजह से ना सर वापस लॉग इन कर रहे हैं।
Okay, ma'am.
So please bear with the issue.
Yes, ma'am. Dear participants, please wait for a while. Sir has joined us back.
विधु मैम सर ज्वाइन बैक कर रहे हैं.
Dear participants, please wait for a while. Sir is joining us again. We are facing a little technical glitch at Sir's end. He will be joining us soon.
Yes.
Sir, you are a presenter now. You can unmute yourself and share your screen.
Yes. Are you able to see my screen?
So it is getting uploaded, sir.
Yeah. It is taking time again. I'm
Yes.
sorry because this is the first time it has happened at my place. Normally it does not happen.
It's okay, sir.
And within few minutes I'll leave also because I'm facing multiple challenges. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Are you able to see the screen now?
Yes, sir. It is getting uploaded, sir.
Hello?
Sir, we can hear you.
Are you able to see the screen now?
Not yet, sir. It is still uploading.
But from my side it is visible. So that means,
Sir, we can see your desktop screen right now.
but mine is PPT shared.
Sir, right now your desktop screen is visible to us. If you could open your PPT from here itself, maybe we could see it. I think the desktop screen is shared at your end.
Okay. Now?
Sir, I think it is uploading because it is still not visible to us.
मैम आप बताइए क्या कह रही थी मैं कॉल पे थी लाइब्रेरी का एक्सटेंशन नंबर
I think. I'm a. इसमें PPT नहीं जा रहा है. They are able to.
वैशाली मैम. Ma'am, can we do like that? Sir can share the PPT with us so that from our end we can share on the MS Team.
I can send it now.
Yes,
So,
sir. Please send it. I will share it for you.
just a minute. Just a minute. Are you able to see my screen now? Presentation?
Sir, I have received your PPT. I am just sharing the screen,
No,
sir.
but are you able to see? Because I think I already loaded.
No, sir.
We are not able to see, sir.
Okay, then you can load it from your side.
Yes, sir.
मेरी साइड में
On this visualization in medicine.
Yes, Vaishali ma'am, it's visible now.
So can you come? Yeah, can you come straight to the 17th slide? 17th. I
Yes,
think
sir.
because now I have only 5 to 7 minutes.
Yes, sir. I am on 17th one.
Yeah. So so here, if you are seeing that it is a visible human project which is already going on, and in which we can go through the complete anatomical model. Next, please. Yes, now people have started using the standardized patient simulators in which the virtual standardized patient simulators, they offer medical educators a great benefit related to that, whether if we are talking about pediatric or neurosurgery or even related to cancer related. Next, please. Yes, as I think I already told you, in case of any kinds of surgical, whether we train the surgeons, whether we plan for the surgery, whether we do the rehearsal, or in fact, actual delivery mechanism. Next, please. Because I know that I think we should go further. Next. Then one part becomes the telesurgery also. So that means a person who is performing the surgery is at a different place, and the person who is guiding him is at a different place. So even up to that level. So now coming to the pharma part, I'll try to touch upon whether we do related to drug development in research or in case of diagnostics and planning or for the treatment planning. All these things we can definitely use the virtual reality in that sense. Next, please. Now, one of the case study. Next. Yes, now I'm going to the holistic domain of cognitive health because my major work has been in cognitive health. And in that also, next please, because I'll have to go next. Here you can see that how, here. As in case of physical health, there are different vital parameters. Like in case if my BP, if my ECG, if my blood tests are okay, that means I'm perfectly here. The same way it is related to cognitive health. If I'm able to memorize things, if I'm able to handle my emotions, I'm able to handle my stress, and then plan, able to memorize, even able to make decisions, even within fraction of milliseconds. So that's how my cognitive process is, how we are able to assess them in virtual reality and how we are able to improve them. That has been our major work. No doubt that mainly related to the application of defense. Next, please.
Unmute कर दो
Let's leave that. Next.
Mute कर दो.
Yes. As I was telling about, my major work is related to non-drug therapy. So as you are seeing, non-pharmaceutical methods. So we have been able to give the mental training through video games, through VR, AR, through meditation. But meditation also in VR, AR is now possible, and we are working in the field of now brain-computer interface, not only in brain-computer interface, we are working in the field of human and machine teaming in relation to defense. Next, please. So how these XR-based cognitive training, how that improves not only in medical field, but in relation to, for example, sports, for example, defense, and all these cognitive factors, whether we talk about planning, decision making, visualizing, all these factors are utilized in all. For example, quite close to defense is the sports field. And we gave a discussion to Director General of Sports Authority of India, and we trained a few of the archery players also in virtual reality to improve and to immerse before the actual real games. So that's how they were able to improve that part. Next, please. So I think how this XR-based training, how it affects on our hormonal level, how they improve in our handling with the depression and anxiety, and then finally, if we are able to regulate our emotion, then how our attention is improved. That we have evaluated based on both EG as well as fMRI both, and we have done it EG fMRI together also. Next, please. So I think next. Yes. Now related to mental health, I hope that I will try to summarize because I will like to take few questions. That will be better rather than telling. So mental health, one of the biggest issue in India especially is like many of us, because of our culture, do face a taboo related problem. So that means in case if somebody is suffering, not he or she himself herself, rather even their parents, they do not want to share. So if the technology helps, which is possible, I had got few more slides related to that, that synthetic simulators. So that means even doctor is also not able to physically, but virtually interact. So in that case, the patient is not facing that taboo problem. So he or she is able to share his complete challenges. And based on that, you are able to interact with the synthetic one. Because based on artificial intelligence included in virtual reality and augmented reality, it has been possible that even the doctor is sitting silently and observing the complete observation which is being done by the synthetic one. He or she, being a doctor, will intervene only once it is required to be discussed physically, and patient is interested to do all those things. So the virtual reality and augmented reality has got a major solution related to lots of brain related issues, whether it is psychiatry related or even neurological disorders related. So these are the few areas which I will conclude here. And in the last, I will share that finally we had a collaboration with Medanta, in which ethical permission we had taken from them by their group, and we were going to apply this virtual reality for their stroke patients, and it was being applied by a clinical psychologist as well as the medical doctor over there. So, but because of COVID, that we have not been able to execute it there. So with that, I think I'll try to conclude it here. What my meaning is that especially now, three things. It is cost effective. It is to be used by any and every domain. And if we two work together, two means one is a domain knowledge person, like for example, in case of pharmacy, the pharma person has to be involved, who will work with the person who has a good knowledge related to virtual reality and augmented reality. Then I am over optimist that there is and only in our thinking, but not with the technology which we can work in the field of even pharmacy. Thank you. And if I can answer a few 3-4 questions in 2-3 minutes, I love to answer.
Thank you so much, sir, for the session. In a very short span of time, you have covered really relevant and useful insights for all the participants. So once again, thank you so much. And now I would request the chair person for the session, Dr. K. Nagarajan, to share his reflections on the presentation. So please.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, it was a wonderful presentation, as you have told a lot of aspects about the virtual reality, augmented reality, and how this can be employed in defense sector. All these aspects you have covered in a very detailed manner. So thank you very much, sir, that I think the faculties are getting the thirst of knowledge from yourself, especially you have ignited their minds, and definitely they will be keep on thinking on this thing, and they will try to work it out also in later in due course. So definitely it will pay the platform for everybody to think in this area and try to implement something. Sir, my question is that is there any software? Actually, many people are telling that software. You have told the person should have some knowledge on hardware and software also, as in your presentation also you told. So, is there any other software where we must go for training, especially from the faculty side? On behalf of all the faculties, is there any software necessary to go for the training in this area, at least from government side or any other side, or some courses if you are doing, so that it will make visualization in this area for visualizing the 3D subjects, particularly for the drug development process of looking the three-dimensional view of receptors and other aspects?
So answer is absolutely yes. I think I covered in my presentation. That is Unity 3D gaming engine. And Unity 3D is open source also up to a great extent available. So whether the faculty or students, whomsoever wants to learn, can go through that, number one.
Okay,
Number two, I will request in case few of the faculty, if they can make a visit to my lab, you will get a actual feel how you can develop your own lab within the least cost and how your faculty can start the work.
Yes.
That's the second answer, because normally otherwise people feel it VR AR is a costly method, it must be difficult, but I give that idea that how simply we can start with. So I will request whomsoever you feel like can visit my lab.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. I am really sorry once again because of two reasons. Lots of today challenges related to technology part also came, and as well as I reduced my part. So I have not been able to do the real justice. But anyhow, that's we have to take it. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
very
you
much.
so much, sir.
Take
Thank
your
you, sir.
2 more minutes. Sir, in the last, as a token of appreciation from our end, we would like to present a certificate of appreciation to you. So, sir, I would request Dr. K. Nagarajan, sir, to please forward this virtual certificate of appreciation to Dr. Sushil Chandra, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. It was wonderful listening to you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll quit it now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all the participants for joining for the day 2 technical session 1. Now we will be going for a small tea break, and we will be resuming back at 11:40 for our day 2 technical session 2. So see you all at 11:40. Thank you so much.